Hi, it's Anna with Create Your Future. In today's video, I would like to give you some tips on how to treat your belief or rather disbelief in your manifestation and in your power as a manifester. Before we start, remember that we are giving away 3 free sessions once we hit 100,000 subscribers. And the way you enter the giveaway is by telling us in the comments something that you have already manifested. If you would like to book a coaching session with me, you can do it from the link in the description box below. And if you would like to try my course, Self-Concept 360 Degrees to Manifest Anything, the link is also in the description box below. And some of the things that I'm going to share in this video is included in more details in that course. Which I hope you'll try, because working on self-concept gets you on a whole different level as a conscious manifester. The course is really a self-concept 360 degrees. I have included everything that has to do with self-concept. And a lot of my clients have tried it. I have done that work myself, and I promise you it's life-changing. I hope you'll give it a try. So let's talk about what to do if you don't believe that you can manifest, say, your specific person or anything important that you are manifesting. Not to say that you have to believe to be able to manifest. Actually, not so long ago, I have made a video on the fact that you don't have to believe your affirmations. You don't have to believe anything to manifest. If you just do the work that it takes to get you to your end goal, you will manifest it anyway, even though you don't believe it. But when you don't believe that you have the power to manifest, when you don't believe that you can have whatever you want, it becomes really hard to persist. And persistence is key in manifesting for different reasons. But the thing is that if you don't believe that you are manifesting, if you don't believe that you have the power, that you are in control, you are not going to control your thoughts. You are not going to control your imagination, and your mind will go back to its habitual thinking, which is your old way of thinking, and it will manifest more of your old reality, and you don't want that. So I'm going to try to help you with that. Here's the thing. Your mind, our mind, is a creature of habit. It gets habituated in the thought patterns that we have. It's like a programming. It gets the programming, and the programming becomes on autopilot, and it continuously manifests because that's what the mind does. But when you don't know you're manifesting, you're automatically reacting to things, because if you're not conscious about the fact that what just happened was a manifestation of your assumption, you jump to the assumption that something bad happened to you, you react. And as you know, reaction also manifests. So you manifest more of that, you react, that manifests again more of the same, and it becomes a vicious cycle. And one of the problems with this is that when you have a physical evidence of something, it all of a sudden becomes more real, more true, because now you have evidence of it. And we just don't know that we have evidence of it because it's an assumption, because that's what the mind does. You have an assumption, or you create an assumption, and sometimes, actually a lot of times, you create an assumption accidentally, that manifests, and all of a sudden, oh, see, this happened, so it must be true. Oh, see, I was rejected again, because that's how my life works. For some reason, I'm always rejected. I never really get what I want. Or actually, I have a lot of clients who come to me saying that I have no problem in manifesting this, but this one topic I just can't seem to manifest, and I don't believe I'm in control of this one thing. your so here's what I think about our limiting beliefs. We learn to think in a certain way. We'll learn to prepare ourselves for the worst. We learn to believe that you just don't get what you just don't get everything that you want. Yes, some things, yes, but you just can't have all of it. Or some things are just hard. You need to work hard for some things. You need to fight for love. And the reason we are taught stuff like that is, in my opinion, because most people didn't know and don't know that they are actually manifesting. So they themselves live in this cycle of accidentally manifesting something bad without knowing that they're manifesting, reacting to it, and then it happens again, and then they get evidence of it again, and then they react. And so they want to help maybe their children or other people to be ready when something bad happens. So they pass this limiting, very limiting way of believing to their children, to their grandchildren, etc. So we, just as a society, have a limiting way of thinking. And when I say society, I mean in general. This really doesn't matter which country you come from. Unfortunately, I don't think there's one country or one society where every one of them know that they're manifesting. If there are, please let me know. I'm really curious about this. But we just learn to think in a very limiting way about ourselves also. And that is why I focus so much on self-concept. And what I'm saying with this is that you not believing in your power, you not believing that in your manifestation, you not believing that you can manifest that specific person, that specific job, your health, your weight, your whatever you're desiring is a habit. It's not the truth. And you might come to me and say, oh, Anna, but it's always been like that in my life. I have always been treated like this. And I don't know. I don't think I can do this. I'm not strong enough to do this. All these thoughts are different parts of your concept of yourself, and that's a habit. And habit is actually how assumptions are created. When you think a thought, or when you think about yourself, or about the situations in your life in a certain way over and over again, and you get a lot of evidence of it also, because that's how manifestation works. You think a thought enough times, it has to manifest. And again, when you don't know you're manifesting, it's just all of a sudden it seems so true. And that is also why we have such difficulty dealing with the 3D, because we have been habituated to think that what's physical is real. And that's just a habit. You not believing in yourself is just a habit. And habits, yes, it's not always easy to change them, but it's possible to change them. And when you give them the opportunity to, or the option that I could maybe change this way of thinking, all of a sudden it's not so difficult, so impossible. And you don't have to like click and believe that, oh, all of my limiting beliefs are a habit. If you can do it, it's great. But if you can't believe that it's a habit, try to give it the option that it could be a habit, and habits can be changed. And start not believing in everything that you believe in about yourself. That, for example, that you're a failure in certain things, that you are always rejected by a certain type of people, or that you have difficulties in certain areas of your life. Try to think of all this as just your habitual way of thinking. It doesn't have to be true. And when you start questioning all this, all of a sudden, that negative situation loses its power because it was true and real and physical. And all of a sudden, what if it's not that true anyway? What if I change my habitual way of thinking, that physical reality, which seems also real, will crumble? And it will. But it needs for you to change your assumptions. And here is where the manifestation process comes in and persistence comes in. Because what happens when you try to change your habit is that old habit will try to do everything to get yourself back to that place. And this is why your thoughts go back and forth. You start affirming for something new, for a beautiful reality, and your mind at some point will start to search for all of the evidences you had in your past that meant that what you're affirming now is not true. Oh no, you can't have that person because you were rejected. Because do you remember that time that this happened? Because do you remember that since you were a little girl or a little boy, everyone always rejected you, no one liked you? So no, you can't have this beautiful life because it's something new. I don't know what it is. This is how I treat the habitual limiting way of uh, thinking. It's that, think of it this way: what you have habituated your mind to think, that's where it's comfortable, because yes, it feels horrible, but at least I know where it feels. So can we please stay here and feel horrible together? When you're starting to affirm for something that feels great, your mind is not used to that, and it doesn't know, like, it's unknown, so it's dangerous. So in order to defend itself and to protect you, it's trying to do everything to get you back to that your old self. So this is why resistance happens. This is why your mind goes back and forth, and this is exactly why you need to persist. Once you get past that period of going back and forth between the old and the new, and by the way, when you do this in your mind, that also reflects in your reality, and all of a sudden hot and cold behavior happens, or you're not only with specific people, but with other manifestations too. It starts to move, and then you start to remembering old stuff, you start to think the old way, and all of a sudden movement stops and it goes back and forth, and whatever you do in your mind is what happens in your physical reality. But when you get past that period, and you get past that period through persistence, your assumptions start to change. And when your assumptions start to change, your physical reality changes. But again, in order for that to happen, you need to change your habitual way of thinking. You need to go through this process of manifesting, and it doesn't have to take a long time for you to change a belief. It really doesn't. Sometimes it does, but it completely depends on you, on your limiting beliefs, how many of them you have, how much they are rooted in you. Um, and but it doesn't matter, it's still possible to change them through this same type of work. And it's easier to persist when you understand that your limiting beliefs, that the fact that you believe limiting things about yourself as a manifester, about your power in manifesting, when you start to see all of this as a habit, you want to persist. It becomes easier to persist. So this was just a reminder for you that just because you think that it's difficult for you to manifest doesn't mean it's true. It's not true. It's just that you have been thinking that thought so much that now it feels true. And again, yes, you go through a period of a difficult period of resistance, old things coming up, a lot of limiting beliefs all of a sudden come up, because sometimes when you work on one thing, all of a sudden it triggers a lot of other limiting beliefs to come up. Sometimes they manifest in your physical reality and it looks like a mess. Sometimes you just get anxiety, and it can be undone. Everything can change. Everything can change. Your limiting beliefs can change, and your very real physical reality can change. If you're in any situation that feels very difficult for you to change and you need help, I'm always here. And I hope that this helped you to try to see it in a different way, to try to I am basically trying to destroy your limiting beliefs about yourself because they're just in the way of your manifestation and they don't have to be. So, once again, remember the giveaway and remember to enter the giveaway. If you would like to book a coaching session with me, you can do it from the link in the description box below. And if you would like to try my course about self-concept, to change your self-concept around and to manifest uh, bigger, better things easier, the link is also in the description box below. And as always, have a beautiful day.